Lillian the Waters in the Living Truth series, 1943. My Father is greater than all. It is imperative that we come into a comprehensive understanding of God as the one entity or Father of the universe, including all identities, and that we have a clear perception of ourselves as both identity and entity, both Son and Father. To view reality in an abstract, analytical, or mathematical manner will never completely satisfy anyone or deliver the full experience of joy, peace, harmony, and the limitless abundance of good. There must come the vision which prompts and promotes ineffable love in our hearts, which compels our faith, our trust, and our deepest affection for spirit and spiritual things. One cannot arrive without limitless spiritual love, for this alone brings the richness and fullness of divine light, inspiration, and understanding. Jesus' teaching was all based upon the one great principle, which he called the Father, and his relation thereto. None of the disciples but John seemed to grasp his deep meaning. Only when we apprehend his teaching as a whole shall we be able to say with him, "The Son can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do. For what things soever he doeth, these doeth the Son likewise. All things are delivered to me of my Father. He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. My Father is greater than I. My Father is greater than all." The familiar illustration of an author and his book is best suited to explain the relation of Father and Son, God and expression, the one I am that I am, and his infinite identities. An author's storybook, including his characters, their distinct characteristics, abilities, and so on, all proceed from and abide in him, the author. He gives his characters his mind, life, being. They are nothing in and of themselves, but are his expression. Now, we are all identities in the mind of God. He is our author, Father, life, and being. We express him, and we are he, for there is nothing of us of ourselves. We are his life, mind, substance, and being. Thus, I, an identity called Lillian, am in him, and he, the only entity, is in me. The Father and I are one. Quote, "The Father is greater than I." Yes, greater even than the identity called Jesus. In fact, my Father is greatest than all. God is the infinitude of being, the all-inclusive, self-existent one, including the universe and all identities. God, infinite creative consciousness, is the author of all, one indivisible whole, and we, as distinct identities, exist in him. Thus we are He and none else. Nevertheless, a single identity is not equal with the Father in finitude, even as Jesus stated, for in such a case the author would be circumscribed or contained in his identity. We each have access to the wholeness and allness of the Father, infinite selfhood, which is perfection, beauty, harmony, peace, understanding, and glory. And we can say, all things that the Father has are mine. It should be clearly understood why Jesus said in one breath, "He that has seen me has seen the Father," and yet in another, "The Father is greater than I." Each identity in the book of life can say, "I am nothing but the author. I express him. He is all of me. I am the brightness of his glory." Yet he is greater than I, for he is all-inclusive, in all, over all, and he is all. The whole of every identity, such as John or Mary, is God, the author, perfect spiritual consciousness, and none else. Yet, as an identity, he is not the totality of being. Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in thy sight. Quote, as identities, we did not create ourselves or any other identity of the universe. All coexists in the one infinite spirit, divine consciousness, expressing good and good only. Out of his boundless love and infinite perfection, harmony and glory, this perfect consciousness gives us all that we need or could possibly desire, and we have intimate access to all that consciousness is. The light, the good we give to other identities, does not proceed from us as identities, for all action is in and of the one indivisible mind, free to all alike. Quote, if I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Father that honors me. Quote, before Abraham was, I am. As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father. The illustration of an author and his book characters throws the perfect light upon this oneness. When the relation of Son and Father, identity and entity, is truly understood, one can say, I am He, and not entertain any vain or personal sense of its meaning. He will have the sense of meekness as well as might. Verily, the fountainhead is the one eternal consciousness within each of us. We draw upon it, and it sustains us and provides us with all good. Jesus left us that we might come into this same understanding and not lean upon him nor look to him as a personal God. Yet to this day, countless ones are doing this very thing, centering God the Father, yea, the infinite consciousness in the identity Jesus. Truly, the infinite cannot be circumscribed in any single identity, any more than anyone could contain all the air that is. We may each have all the air we need, and all have all the air they need. Still, the air shall remain infinite and unconfined. So with consciousness, it cannot enter into or be absorbed by any identity. Yet all are free to use this mind and are this mind or consciousness and none else. The Master perfectly knew and said, I am the truth. John 14:6. As my Father has taught me, I speak these things. John 8:28. The one I am writes the book of life and is the life, mind, and being of everyone and everything in it. Can mind be seen except in its actions, forms, and expressions? No. Thus infinite, divine Spirit, God, is seen in all creation. All beauty, color, outline, form, and loveliness exist in and proceed from consciousness, which is God, and are nothing else. Every single bird, flower, animal, and all identities as you and I live in and are this life which is spirit. A blade of grass, speaking from its true position, can say, when you see me, you see the Father, perfect, creative consciousness. Thus it is written of Jesus that he expressed the fullness of the Godhead bodily. He was the perfect portrayal of the character who knew himself to be the author, the Son knowing that he was also the Father, the expression of God in full realization of principle and its identity to be one, inseparable, and indivisible. He knew the Father, Spirit, God, to be individually all and universally one. Quote, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Mark 12:29. And his name one. One mind, one spirit, one consciousness of all, one I that I am. Therefore, one cannot be at all unless in and of the Infinite One. Even as expressions, you are God, for only God expresses. Is this not so? The vanity, the shameful arrogance to assume another mind, limited, impure, imperfect, incomplete, and then seek to educate and spiritualize it to be the divine. The kingdom of heaven is the only actual state of existence there is, nor can there be another. The Trinity of being is self-existent unity, one infinitude known as Father, creative divine consciousness, boundless principle, life. Son, distinct identity, known as John or Mary, existing in and governed by the Father, indivisible spiritual mind, never personal or existing independently. Holy Spirit, the revelation of being coming from author or Father to character or Son. That Father and Son are one and not two. That the Son or identity can say understandingly, I am the truth, I am the life, I and the Father are one. How plainly Jesus stated it, yet how paradoxical it sounds unless one is spiritually illuminated. Great multitudes stand today at the place where they claim to be expressions of God, but not God, ideas in mind, but not mind. Could the air, for instance, be divided into air and its expressions? Its expression? Neither can you be an expression of anything and not be that thing. If you are an idea in mind, then you are mind. Cease belief in personality and moreover in human minds. Then the one mind will think and speak in you, and you will think and speak as this mind and no other. There is no mind of the identity. There is only the mind of the Father. There are no separate minds with free will. None can create his own good. The divine mind writes nothing in the book of life but the true and the real. The author of all sees nothing to save, nothing to change, nothing to achieve, obtain, or improve. When we see an identity as deriving everything from God, perfect consciousness, then we can truly see that no evil can enter into that identity, nor can any harm come nigh him. The creative mind is not only in all identities, but is all identities. Thus, as evil is unknown to God, it is likewise unknown to all that is contained within him. Therefore, there is no dream or dreamer, no false belief or false believer, no false sense of mortality. To seek to create one's own heaven is vanity indeed. The thirst for peace, wholeness, harmony, and bliss can be quenched in but one way. I am in the Father, and the Father is in me. Consciousness is in every form the same, and outside every form the same, and all forms are spiritual and perfect. Spirit cannot drown or be shot, become sick, limited, or incomplete. Nor is spirit ever in a dream or false state. And spirit is all, since God is spirit and God is all. I am can say of all identities, I am they, and they are I. There is no tree consciousness, animal or man consciousness. There is but God consciousness, in every form the same, and all forms are spiritual. Thus there is no evil in God or in his creation. Each identity called Mary, John, and so on has the same infinite power, light, and understanding as the author or divine selfhood. For all that the Father has is mine. When you see me as I am, you both know him and have seen him. And moreover, All things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you. End of chapter and end of the Living Truth series.